Hello everyone, let me fix this. Hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Okay, there we go. Alright. Hi everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. And let me get my chat up. There it is. Oops, hold on. Alright. Okay. So, hello everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. That you're going to have a great start to your weekend. Today is Friday, July 17th. And I don't know about y'all, but I am getting sick of these Canadian fires. God bless to everybody who's in Canada. My thoughts and prayers are with you guys. However, being where I'm at in Michigan, we are getting the smoke from the Canadian fires, so our air quality is not the best. So we pretty much have to stay inside unless we absolutely have to go out. It's a pain. But we'll do it. Hey, co-host in the background. So I'm here at Snowballs, deciding what he wants to do. So we'll see. And today we are on 3 episodes 1 through 5. I think the way that I end the episode that we end with is really a good place to continue on. Am I freezing? Co-host in the background? I feel like I'm freezing. Hold on. The way that I end the episode that we end is really a good place to continue on. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Having a little bit of computer problems earlier, so I just wanted to make sure I'm all good. Okay, so as I was saying, we're going to start with season 3, episodes 1 through 5. Episode 5 is a good place to start because it kind of ties in at the end of the Abby storyline with her littles. So again, as always, please do the YouTube things, like, subscribe, share, comment, and if you're here in the chat, please chat. I see co-hosts in the background, so we're good. And then in the comment section down below, after this stream is over, I will link the We're Not Done Yet podcast and the CG Circle, as well as No Escape from the Cul-de-Sac podcast. So go ahead and check those out, subscribe, and like their videos as well. So I don't know how long we're going to do tonight. So I just hope that y'all are cuddled up, got your favorite beverage, get your favorite blanket, and snuggle on in. Um, so season 3 start. We're just gonna kind of just jump right into it. I didn't really take a lot of notes on the first really these episodes. I think that there really wasn't a lot. Yeah, there really wasn't a lot. With a lot of the people were together in these episodes, so it was really easy breezy. So the first episode is the vigil. At the end of episode 2, that very last episode, it was the beginning of the end for Sid that. So we open with Ella, Abby, and then also with Jeff taking Abby's kids. So it's what they call an A storyline, a B storyline. So we'll get there. So Abby's helping her through what is one of the hardest things that she's ever had to go through, which is her baby's missing. She wakes up, Val tries to comfort her. She's running Sid. Val said that, he's on his way. And so she kind of closes the drapes and puts Abby back to bed. And then we're at the beach and we see that biker stop and see that Sid's car has gone over the cliff. And then they stop the truck and they go down. And then as they're going down, I think they're calling the cops and the ambulance to get someone down there to help them. And then next we see we're back at Abby's and Karen is still listening to the tape that Jeff sent Abby about why he took the kids. Um, uh, and then we see that we're back at the beach. Sid does not look good, and then we're back at Abby's house. That was not sure about what happened with. I'm just not sure about what happened. I'm guessing with Jeff and all that. I don't know. Abby wakes up and wants to see Sid. However, they did that. Val tries to put her back to bed. FBI agent is calling looking for Sid and the other agent. And then we learned that the FBI agent that was with Sid did not make it past the car accident. The lieutenant pulled up and sees what happened. Karen and Val are unsure about where Sid is, and then the FBI is calling Gary to let him know what had happened. We see that Sid is eventually rescued from the car and taken to the hospital. Gary pulls up to the cul-de-sac and tells Karen and Val about Sid. Karen tells Val to stay with the kids and tells Gary to um, stay with as someone is with her. Uh, and Karen goes to the hospital. And so Karen gets to the hospital. She finally finds Sid because they weren't telling her where he was at because they were afraid that the bad guys were gonna get to him. So she finally learned where he was, and then she met up with the doctor, and the doctor is talking about what Sid's injuries are, and that there's a lot of back injuries, and I know about that. Doctor said that he is critical but stable. Doctor told Karen that Sid, however, is paralyzed. However, they don't know if it's permanent, temporary, or what the issue is. And then Karen does go to see Sid. The kids show up at the hospital even though Karen told Val to keep them at home. And the kids and Diana tells Karen, like, no matter what, we would have come to the hospital. And then she sends them home, and Val tells Karen that she's going to take home to go get dinner. Karen does try to suicide, however, she has to show the police officer ID so that they know who she really is. And then when Karen goes in to suicide, Karen makes a joke about it and said it is awake, but he doesn't want the kids to see him how he is. And that's how Karen is. And then Sid tries to prepare Karen for what lies ahead and tells her that he loves her. Next, we see Abby come in to see Sid, and Karen asks, "Do you want to see her?" And he goes, I wouldn't want to try to stop her." And then Abby comes in, and she also makes a joke. And Abby doesn't know about his paralysis. And then Abby asks Karen about the doctor and what's his credentials, and Abby wants Karen to get a second opinion or have him be moved. Karen tells Abby that he can't be moved in his condition. And then next we see that and then Abby is asking Karen for a ride home. However, Karen says, "No, I'm not leaving," and she tells Abby to get a cab. Next we see that Sid goes into a coma, and it is touch and go with him. Karen stays overnight with him. Next, we're at the Gates house, and Michael wakes up and goes into Karen and Sid's room. Gary calls the hospital and asks to talk to Karen. Doesn't want to talk to anybody. um, Karen is just so tired, worn out. And then next we see that Gary is at the beach and feels guilty about what happened. Karen fell asleep in a wheelchair. And the nurse is trying to tell Karen to go home. You're not going to be good if you don't go home and get some rest. However, Karen was like, well, maybe I'll just get some coffee. And then Richard shows up coffee, and Karen cries and laughs with Richard, and makes Karen feel better. Val, I put it this way because this is the only thing that came to my mind. Val is getting a clothing order for Karen, and then so that Val can take the clothes up to her. Gary is blaming himself and wants to try to help Karen in any way possible. However, he doesn't know what to do, so he wants to take the clothes to Karen himself. Diana tries to go to see Sid, and at first want her to. However, Diana urges her, and Karen reluctantly agrees and tells her kind of what. Diana goes in that he is in a coma. Diana stays with Sid alone and sings a song to him. Next, we see that Val and Eric are talking about Sid and why he can't go see them, while Michael is just running around. Next, we see Gary drops off the clothes to Karen and shows what's wrong, or she tells Gary that they don't know what's wrong with him. Karen doesn't want to leave the hospital and asks to be left alone. So at first I thought maybe Karen was blaming Gary, but I just think that looking at the other episodes, I just think that Karen needs to process and be strong for the moment. And we learned that Eric was not in school, and then Gary goes to and the art tells him what's really going on with it. And then they decide to play, I don't know, an arcade game. And then next we see that Doctor is looking at Sid, who just woke up, and Sid tries to send him, and Karen is afraid of going home, and then she breaks down, and then Sid wakes up. So that's the end of that episode. There's not really a lot to break down. I mean, we don't see Richard and Laura together. We do see Richard being a good friend to Laura. So I think again, like I said before, that Laura, that Richard and Karen have had their ups and downs, but I think that Karen does have like a huge soft spot for Richard because in the end, no matter what, he's always there for her, and then also will pull through. Because I mean, just look at the beginning of season 2, where they were and where they're at now. So I think that that's really special. However, there's some episodes in this coming season that were a different side of Richard at some point. And then we don't hear a lot of Val and Gary other than Val trying to convince Gary not to blame himself and that, he just needs to kind of work through this and try to figure it out. We see that, the kids are just having, obviously the kids are having a hard time. They don't know why they can't go see Sid. However, I get it that Sid told Karen not to have the kids come to see him because when Dad told my mom he was in bad shape and he didn't want us to. Again, we were probably around Michael's age when this was happening, so when we went through that, so I can kind of relate to that, and I can. And as my dad got sicker and sicker, he got more disoriented and not really aware of what's going on. So I can kind of do that, and I agree with it. However, I'm glad that Diana did go to sue him, so that was good. And again, we see that Val was trying to be there for both Abby and Karen. So I think at some point Val was starting to feel kind of like maybe torn between Abby and Karen. However, she does know that Abby has two things going on. One with her kids and two while being in the hospital. So I think that, at this point Val was starting to feel a little bit torn. She is I think mostly for Karen, positive for Val and try to help her out. Um, I'm trying to, and then obviously, Sid trying to comfort Karen, Karen trying to comfort Sid. I think that's really sweet. I think that you can kind of see the connection they're lacking in the first. I think that's because the writers knew that Don Murray was going to be leaving the show, so they had to come up with a way to kind of round out their love story. So I think why they did it, I think that they were starting to push the envelope a little bit more with doing a little bit more because Sid was supposed to be paralyzed, so he couldn't. Don Murray couldn't stop it and say, "Hey, no, don't let's play it straight." He had a little bit less saying that when it got to either that or he was just like, "Hey, I'm just gonna play the way I want to since I'm leaving the show." And I do know, and again, I'm gonna have to see if this is on the podcast and on the We're Not Done Yet podcast or not, because I think that it has been said that to kill or to have a character leave the show and the way that Sid left in the beginning of season 3 was a big risk for a show like this because how can you do that? However, if you think about it, the reboot of Dynasty kind of did the same thing when they got rid of Alexis in season 2, but then they brought her back in season 3. So, I mean, it can be done. It's just a very big risk for shows like that because, as think at the time, but it was like Southern Karen, but little did they know that Mac was going to show in season 4. Quite interesting. We did not see Penny and Ginger, and I think in the next episode I'll have to look at my notes, but I think that's just because they're going to build up to what happens in episode 3. So, co-host in the background, do you have anything to add, my dear? If you're still there? I don't know if you're still there or not. Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna play some clips from episode 1, season 3, episode 1. So let me get to it. I mean, I just think that, because, like I said, Don Murray was leaving the show, so I think that they really just put a lot into it, so therefore they gave them a little bit more of kissing what we've seen in past seasons. Yeah, it is sad about Sid, but we're not there yet. And I get what you're saying there. It's sad about Sid, but again, it was his decision to leave the show. And honestly, if he didn't leave the show, then we wouldn't have had Mac. So, which I think Mac was a great addition to the show. And I think that after Sid left, they were just trying to figure out what to do with Karen. And we'll see that play out through the next couple of episodes once we get to I think it's episode 5. Yeah, I think it's episode 5 that we'll see Karen become a little bit more independent in what she decides to do. So, right, co-host in the background. So we'll go ahead and play some scenes from the first episode. So, and again, this is in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy. So Karen's looking at Sid. She can't decide. She can't believe.
My God, you look like you went over a car.
I thought that was trying to make a joke about what happened. That's just something that my mom would have said to me, or right before my mom had surgery, the last time I saw her, she had to make a joke about it. So she did something that I can't really mention on YouTube, but she did something funny, and she just was doing my mom. So I get that. I get when women are scared, especially if they're sarcastic or they have a good sense of humor, they tend to let it come out a little bit easier. So, and again, this is in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy.
Come on and kiss me, I won't break.
And again, this is where they're showing a little bit more intimate scenes between Sid and Karen. Well, not so much.
How do you feel? I feel high as a kite. How do I look? Like Frankenstein. Did Dr. Kerr explain about it?
Oh. Alright. So I want to play this out because I think that's really a testament to how couples, when they go through hard times, they want to talk about what's really going on. They don't want to talk about it. So this just kind of shows that. So again, this is in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy.
Looks so medieval. really doesn't hurt you? No, no. Only when I tap dance. Oh.
So that was trying to be funny as well.
It says you're stable. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Do the kids know? They were just here. I sent them home with Val. Good. I don't think they really ought to see me like this. No. So, how are you? Me? Yeah, you. I'm at my best in a crisis. And this isn't even a crisis. No. Karen? Like anything from my neck down. Dr. Okura said we shouldn't even expect any return during the next few days.
Okay, so I just want to explain that any return means any feeling from the body once they're being paralyzed. So that's what, Karen is meaning by that. And again, this is in accordance with the two-series policy.
What else did he tell you? I didn't ask him very much. Yeah, well, I did. Look, I think that we just better come right out and see what's on our minds, okay? Okay, here's the deal. If the spinal cord is just partially damaged or just swollen, maybe, paralysis will go away in 4 or 5 days. Everything's going to be cool. But if the cord is severed all the way through, well, it's not exactly like a phone line. You can't just run in there, tie it up, repair it. You understand? We have to take this one step at a time, that's all. I just want you to understand what might be ahead. We don't know what's ahead. I love you very much. Me too.
Look, I don't care what your orders are. I'm his sister.
Okay, so they were signing the chest, and then Abby comes in. And so we'll let this play out because she said something funny here as well. So, and again, this is in accordance with the two-series policy.
And I want to see her.
There's nobody, and I mean nobody.
You want to see her?
I wouldn't want to try to stop her.
Karen, will you please tell this overgrown
The man is just trying to do his job. Calm down. I'm just doing my job.
All right, fine. Can I see him?
Yes, officer. Go ahead.
Thank you. Hey.
Hey. How you doing?
I think I ought to be careful, so kiss for you.
Thanks.
Sid, I know you like music, but don't you think they could have gotten you a better headset?
So that was real cute. She said, I know you like music, but couldn't they have gotten you a better headset? That was really sad. That was sweet. And then we're going to go with Abby and Karen. And again, this is in accordance with the fair use policy.
Want a cup of coffee?
Dr. Silver, telephone.
You want a cup of coffee?
He's paralyzed.
Well, Dr. Okura said it temporary.
Gary didn't tell me that.
There's a no, nobody knows.
Check in with you. Dr. Call your office. Karen, who's that Dr. Okura?
What do you mean?
What do you know about him? What are his qualifications?
Abby, Sid was just brought in here. Success.
So I think that this is very common. I just wanted to point this out because it's very common. If someone is in a crisis, someone and the family's always going to question the doctor and their credentials, and we'll kind of see this throughout the seasons. Whenever someone's in the hospital, everyone's going to question every doctor that works on their patient, on their loved one. That's just a common thing. So, and again, this is in accordance with the chief's fair use policy.
Where's it going? Bring him to the doctor. Well, how do you know Dr. O'Clair is in a very... I don't. Neither do you. That's why I think we should get the best neurologist available and get him in here to confirm the diagnosis.
Yeah, well, I am going to do that, Abby, but I saw the x-rays and believe me,
Karen, you're not a doctor. To tell you the truth, I'm surprised you let him bring him here.
I didn't choose this hospital, Abby. The ambulance just brought him here.
Then you should have him transferred. He shouldn't be moved. Says who? That Dr. Akura?
Why would Dr. Okora lie about
I'm not
something
saying
like
he's lying, Karen, but he's young and he's inexperienced, and another doctor...
I don't want
might not-
another doctor.
Maybe another doctor wouldn't agree with the way he's
Abby,
handling
you
things.
saw the way he's rigged up in there.
Do you think they can hear anything? This is a small community hospital. It's not even a teaching hospital.
I mean, he cannot be moved.
Karen, I just want to make sure he's got the best care.
So do I.
He's my brother.
So, my dad didn't have any siblings, so imagine I wonder where his parents are. They never really said where Abby and his parents are. I don't know. I don't know if later on we learn what happened to Abby's parents, but so imagine my mom having to deal with her in-law, her father-in-law, and her mother-in-law, and her mother-in-law, when my dad was in the hospital. So it was just, and it made it 10 times worse because he started to get really sick when we were on vacation with them. So, it is what it is. Fights happen, concerns happen. So, and again, this is in accordance with future fair use policy.
I appreciate your concern. But if you don't mind, I would like you to go home.
I was going to go with you. Well, I don't have a car. Gary took me here and he's going down.
Call a cab.
So there, Karen tells Abby to call a cab. I'm trying to figure out. So it says in a coma. So I kind of want to play this out for you. Very sweet. And again, this is in accordance with future fair use policy.
I swore that You're not really going to drink that, are you? After spending 9 hours in the hospital when Laura had Jason, I swore that if I ever had to repeat the experience, there were 2 things I would not do. Natural childbirth and hospital coffee.
Oh, Richard.
Alright, the continuity of this scene is baffling me. Because it is explained that when Laura is pregnant with her second baby, that she didn't experience natural childbirth with Jason. And when we get there, we'll learn about that. It's very interesting. Interesting. So again, this is in accordance with future fair use policy.
Oh, what are you doing? I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
Here, drink your orange juice.
Is this stuff squeezed?
Listen, I've got a reputation to uphold. The croissants are from Le Croissant. The coffee is fresh ground, my own blend, 3/4 Italian roast to 1/4 Costa Rica.
Oh, Richard, these are incredible. I don't know what to say.
Don't say anything yet.
What
Hey, don't get sloppy on me. You're what we used to call a cheap date. Usually you had to spring for dinner if you wanted to buy a girl breakfast. Go on, eat your croissant. I did some checking for you. You out with the.
So again, you can kind of see where it's good qualities and where he and Karen has a special relationship. And we learned that he actually had a good relationship with her off screen as well. So again, this is in accordance with teaching series policy.
Dr. Akura, Johns Hopkins Fellow, UCLA residency. From what I hear, if you weren't so young, you'd be running the whole department.
Oh, Richard. I'm so glad. I really like him.
You look like you could use about 2 pints of blood. You wouldn't want to go home for a while, would you? That's what I thought. Why don't you let me handle the paperwork and the insurance stuff? I mean, maybe find you a housekeeper. The kids are being picked up and fed.
If you could just handle the insurance.
I'm fixed for money. Between Laura's real estate and my new job, we're rolling it. Bet you'd feel about 300% better with a hot shower and a clean set of clothes.
Don't tell me you have a dress in there. Okay, tan pants.
So this is where Richard gets a clothing order from Richard for Karen. I think it's kind of funny. Alright, so I'm gonna play this last scene. This is between Karen and Gary. So again, this is in accordance with teaching series policy.
Sir, she's in the lounge. Oh, sure. Karen?
Gary.
Hi, I brought your clothes.
What happened?
She had to take the boys to school. Oh, Diana was wearing the blouse you wanted, so I brought you that.
She stopped wearing my clothes. Thank
Any idea?
Oh, they've got lots of ideas. Potassium is low, but could cause it. Or a spasm in the puberal artery, or a cerebral contusion unrelated to spinal injury. Bring an awful lot. They don't know. They're giving him reduce the swelling of the brain and the spinal cord, and some potassium too. If that doesn't work, cats. But if you want, I'll talk to the nurse.
No, that's all right. Karen, is there anything I can do?
For me? No.
No, I mean, do the shopping.
Dad, I can't even face my own kids.
Karen, I don't want.
Yes, you do. You want to be blamed or forgiven, and I don't have the time or the energy for either. I'm not a religious person, so these sound crazy. And mystical coming from someone like me. But I can't leave this place now. I'm afraid if I do, the spell will never wake up. You're coming here as a distraction to keep me from doing what I have to do. The only thing that you can do for me is leave me alone.
How do you feel?
report to radiology.
Therefore, he sorry about that. I got muted somehow. Oh goodness. I got muted. Can you hear me? Am I back? So anyway, so that's where like Gary kind of blamed himself about what was going on, and so therefore, and then that's when Karen just asked him to leave the hospital. And just bear with me 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and go back to YouTube because I want to see how I'm doing. Okay, hold on. So anyways, that's where like Gary kind of blamed himself about what was going on, and so therefore, and then that's when Karen just asked him to leave. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. I think it's working. Okay. So anyway, so that's when Gary just kind of realized that that things were going wasn't really bringing harm, but he decided to leave the hospital anyways, just to give parents some space. And then we'll play this soon. Hey. Hear this in the chorus in the background, okay? And again, this is in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy.
I had my pencils out yet, Mommy? Are you crying, Karen?
No, better now.
My throat feels so dry. Did they operate yet?
You were asleep.
I don't feel very rested.
But you're awake now.
Am I going to be all right now?
Yes, sweetheart. You're going to be fine.
Okay, so then that brings us to after you. Okay. Okay. So next, we are going to just jump right into episode 2, and this is called Critical Condition. And I didn't take a lot of notes on this because, again, it just focused on Sid and Karen, and I think a little bit of Abby and her kids. A little bit of Kenny and Ginger. So next we see that Doctor is examining Sid, and he is moving his fingers and wiggling his toes and moving his feet. So this is all good signs. Next we see that Gary is working at the dealership and trying to help. However, he's just kind of still feeling guilty about what's going on. Marcia comes in and wants to try to help, has Gary sign a card and tells Gary that she wants to send a plant or flowers or something to the hospital. Then we see Abby go to see an investigator about her children and wants a warrant sworn out. However, he's not listening to what is going on and says the kids are with her ex-husband. That's a different process. It can't be a warrant. Next, we see that Karen is making sure that Sid is drinking, getting fluids in the system, and keeping up his strength. Sid wants to see the kids, but not until after he's out of ICU, and then tries to send Karen home, and she finally agrees. And Sid said that if he needed her, that he would try and call. Next, we see Richard cooking dinner, and Laura comes home and tells Richard that Scooty's wife left him. Next, we see that Abby comes over to talk to Richard about her kids, and they're kind of not really paying attention of what's going on. Abby is just taking this like, oh, well, no one cares about what I'm going through, and my children. And then Richard says, I'll try to help you any way I can, but you really can't do anything right now because where the kids are. And then next, and Laura is still unsure about Abby. Next, we see that Sid can't move again. And then we see that Karen is at home trying to help with dinner and get the children settled. And then Karen does tell the kids that they can go see him the next day. However, Karen gets called back to the hospital to go see Sid. Val surprises Gary at the dealership to go to the hospital, and Val wants him to go, but he doesn't because she's afraid that Karen brings him. And know that Sid needs an emergency, and so he has a high risk, and it's 60-40. Next, we see Ginger and Kenny for the baby. Ginger wants Sid, however, Kenny's worried about her doing too much. Next, we see Abby and Karen in the cafeteria, and Karen can't stand it, so she gets up and goes to the elevator and sees Val and talks to Val about what's going on. Karen learns that the doctor wants to see her in X-ray. Sid, Karen, and the doctor talk about the operation. Sid wants the operation, but Karen doesn't want him to have it because it's afraid of what the outcome could be because of his collapsed lung, his breathing problem, and other issues going on inside of him. But Karen has to sign the form because obviously Sid can't do it. However, Sid tells Karen that no matter what, if you don't sign the form, I'm going to put the pen in my teeth and I will sign it myself. And so she does end up signing the form. However, she's not happy. The kids show up and Karen and takes them to see Sid. Sid is telling the kids about the operation and what could happen and says that, he loves them, and then tells Eric that to do to look after the family. So I think at this point, Sid is not mad to his children, but he's also Don Martin is saying goodbye to the actors and actors that played his kids and loves so much off screen. However, this was the last scene that they had together, so it was very bittersweet. Um, so and then we see that Sid records a message for. I thought it was his family, but then I know it was for Karen. And then Karen goes to look for Diana, and they talk about Sid, and Diana is fearing the worst, and tells Karen that she doesn't want to lose him. Gary pulls up to the hospital and goes inside, and then instead of going right up to see Sid, he ends up going to the chapel and say prayer. Karen sees Karen goes into to see Sid, and he is getting ready for surgery. Karen breaks down. Abby, Karen, and the kids are waiting for Sid to come out of surgery. Gary to Karen, and her and Gary have like a back and forth. So basically, Gary's trying to leave the dealership just to get out of the way. However, Karen goes, "You can't leave right now. Look at us. Look at what we're going through. You can't leave." So as Gary is talking to Karen, she kind of breaks down and she hugs Gary. Val shows up and tells Karen it's going to be okay. However, Val doesn't think so. Um, and then Karen does talk a little bit about when she was in labor with Diana. Doctor comes out and privately about what happened. Then Karen tells everyone else. Karen gets an item from his hospital room, and they leave. And they leave. And then as the episode ends, Karen is listening to the tape that Sid had left her before his operation. So there's not a lot going on in this episode other than what's really going on with Sid. I think that Karen and Sid had a really sweet goodbye. I think that Sid and the kids had a sweet goodbye. I think that they really closed out. I don't want to say closed out, but they really tied the story all together with that. And again, this was a big risk for the network or for the show to have a character leave in this way so soon after the season. And again, it wasn't the show's decision. It wasn't the showrunners. It wasn't the producers. It was John Murray that wanted to go out on his own and do something else. However, I wonder if he ever for that. But again, he didn't because he left. He also got Mac, which I think was a really good trade-off in my opinion. And again, done the next couple of episodes and going forward, and I think that the way that Val showed up for Karen was really sweet, and also for Abby. But mostly, I think she was there for Karen and her kids. Um, Even though that Val and Abby did have a good friendship to start out with, I think that Val was just really there for Karen in this moment and just trying to be there for her, like Karen was out there when Gary fell off the wagon. Let's just put it that way. So I think that was really sweet. And again, seeing Kenny falling over Ginger, that's really sweet. To whereas he was a crazy man in the first two seasons, and now we kind of see him become like a true husband and soon to be father. So I think that's a really sweet moment. And I think that they're trying to engender a little bit more, which I think is good. I think now that Karen is going to be a single mom, I think that that's really sweet how they're going to bring in these characters more. We did see a little bit of Richard and Laura, however, that was more or less due to Abby coming over and wanting to talk about um, her kids, and then also Scooter losing his wife due to her leaving him. So I think that again, the writers didn't know exactly what they were gonna do with the characters. So I think this is a good way to kind of tie everything together, and I think that they're just kind of putting into play the next episode when with Abby and the kids and all that good stuff. So we'll go from there. So co-host in the background. If you have anything to add, we'll go ahead and play clips from season 2. So, and the game's for this policy, so I had to.
Referrals and Charleston.
Excuse me. Alright.
Thank you. It's not exactly dinner at the Ritz, but it sure beats that IV.
Can I get you something?
Hold on, let me go back.
You know what? Actually, dinner at the.
Okay, and again, this is according to YouTube series policy.
Thank you. It's not exactly dinner at the Ritz, but it sure beats that IV. I don't think they'll let me have anything else.
So when Karen goes, I always think of her with Mac. That's just, I just heard that in my head. So that just reminds me of a Mac move. So it was, especially in one scene, is when her and Mac. So when she does, okay. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube series policy.
You know what? I think they take me out of intensive care tomorrow. I can get rid of these tongs and get into a halo.
The halo?
Yeah. It's a self-contained unit. You're still in traction, but you can move around a little bit.
Are you done?
Thanks. How are the kids?
They're fine. I talked to Diana a while ago, and Val is looking after them.
Okay. Why don't you bring them around tomorrow?
Are you sure?
Yeah, if I'm out of intensive care. I'm gonna know.
Not much.
Probably scared. Why don't you go home for a while and stay for them?
No.
How long have you been here?
A while.
Yeah, probably almost as long as I have. I know you. Come on, get a little rest. I'm gonna be fine.
I don't want to leave you.
I'll give you a call if I need you. Look, excuse me.
Oh. Okay. Nurse. Would you come if there's any change? Of course. You don't go anywhere.
Hey, I like intensive care. I've been looking for it all my life.
This is a sweet moment. I know. Go ahead and play this out. Again, this is in closer.
Come on. I'll give you intensive care that won't stand on end.
must be getting sensations back. My toes are tingling.
Alright. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I got a snowball in my lap right now. This is quantitative studies.
That's simple. Surgery could be highly risky for you now. The collapsed lung makes respiration very difficult to tolerate the anesthesia. There's also a high risk for pneumonia after the surgery.
There's a choice between pneumonia and paralysis. Pneumonia.
And anyway, it's not only the pneumonia. I'm talking about surviving the operation. But look, let's take things one step at a time. Let's get the x-rays and go from there.
What do you mean? How high?
It's hard to say. We don't like to give odds.
Well, just to give us an idea.
That's a staple with the doctors on this. And I wonder if that's really true in all hospitals where they say we don't like to give odds, because this isn't the first time I've heard this in the show. We'll see, I think, with Diana and then again with Karen in the hospital. So again, quantitative theory.
60-40.
Now what?
It's okay. I'm just going to X-ray.
Oh, Sid.
I'm fine.
He's not fine. He's had a setback. What kind of setback?
Everything's just fine. Don't worry about a thing. Have you heard anything about the kids?
No, not yet.
Okay, I'll be able to talk to you as soon as I get back from X-ray.
Stop it.
Doctor, you'll let me know as soon as you get the results.
Absolutely.
I just got attacked by a snow. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh boy. So, alright, and again, this is in quantitative theory.
Well, we're sure.
So this is after Karen moves out in the cafeteria. And again, this is quantitative theory policy. I love you.
Oh, hi. How's it? Well, we're not sure now. I was just going up to see that X-ray.
He thought it'd be better to. He wants to do everything he can for you. I think that he feels responsible for the.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I know, but he blames himself. He feels that he betrayed Sid's trust.
It's not important now.
Oh, Mrs. Fairgate.
Any word?
I was just going to get you. Dr. Kerr wants to see you over an X-ray.
Oh, thank you.
That's the blockage here.
The blood clot.
Surgery will drain the hematoma, relieving the pressure.
Will that undo the paralysis?
We hope so. But there's no guarantee.
We're asking him to risk his life on an operation that might not even work.
I'm not asking him to risk his life. I'm not even recommending the operation. I'd like the decision to be his.
If I don't have the operation, will I always be paralyzed?
There will be permanent disability, yes. We're not quite sure to what extent, though.
And there's nothing to discuss.
There's a lot to discuss.
Karen, if there's a chance that we could be healthy, then
Doctor, suppose you held off on the operation until his other symptoms healed. Would that make it safer?
Safer, yes, but with less chance of being affected. We have to operate promptly if we want to avoid permanent damage.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right. Now, you'll have to sign the consent form for it.
What if I don't sign?
Karen, I wouldn't be able to live enough. If I knew there was a chance that I could be well and I didn't take it.
Sid. Sid. The things that matter, your mind, your spirit, they would be the same. Whatever the physical problems, we learn to live with them and leave you alive.
Everything would change. If I didn't take this chance, just because I was afraid of operation, I just wouldn't be the same man.
Doctor, what happens if I don't sign?
I'll take the pen in my teeth and sign it myself. Karen, I'd much rather that we did this together.
Sid, if anything happened to you and I signed your life away,
You wouldn't be signing my life away. You'd be giving me a chance for a better life.
I want you to die.
Karen, would you just do what you know and I know has to be done? Please.
But I swear to God, Sid, if anything happens to you,
Okay, hold on. After watching that scene back, I'm just going to talk about it a little bit. I kind of feel where Karen's coming from because that's how I felt when I watched it. I did force her to go into the surgery because I told her, I said, Mom, you're not going to go home because you are a risk. If you fall down and something should happen, then we're just right back where we started at. So, well, I have felt, and I still kind of do feel guilty about what happened with my mom. However, I do realize that again, like what Sid was saying, like take the chance, or and then not have take the chance, have it not work, that's fine, or take the chance and have it work. No. But I think that I agree with Karen. Like hold on 1 second. I gotta talk to this coming up. Just bear with me 1 second. No one's trying this case. I really wouldn't do something even it's kind of like this, just for the simple fact that I have a roommate, and I kind of don't want to have him get out and run around like a maniac. So that goes in this kind of level now. With the way that Karen felt, I kind of feel the same way about my mom. Although it's my mom, it's not my husband. I just feel that, I did feel a little bit guilty because I did push her into the surgery and she didn't take it out. So it's kind of like a very, very, very similar solution to where, yeah, she was able to move just fine. However, if she would have come and she would have fallen, then we would be right back where we were, and things would have not been good. So, and I think I dealt with that, and I still don't. So I kind of get it. It seemed like I could really put myself in Karen's shoes in that moment. I think that's why I relate to the show so much because there is a lot that I can relate to my life that I was growing up and seeing it. So I'm just surprised I didn't find the show a lot sooner. However, I think that we always find lives when we're supposed to find them. So therefore, I think that this is an example. Like I was just supposed to show this year. However, it does it in the 80s, and these episodes are from the year that I was born. It's just, it relates to my life so much. So I think that that's where I like the show, and the show telling me about it. So anyway, so that's where I'm at with this right now. And then we're gonna go into. I'm not gonna do the goodbye part because that's just too hard for me to play, and I don't want to go through that again. So we will jump to when Gary shows. So again, this is in accordance with future service policy. Hold on. Let's see how well that is. Okay. This is in accordance with future service policy.
Outside call. Outside call.
Gary sees Karen. He walks up to her.
Some surgery.
Surgery?
Yeah, go home, Mary. I'll call you when it's over.
I wanted to talk to him before I left.
Left?
Yeah. I'm leaving. Best thing I can do for the two of you is just to get...
I mean, quit? My husband is undergoing a dangerous operation. If he lives, he may never walk again. You think the best thing you can do for us is quit? What am I supposed to do? Shut down the business because you have a guilty conscience? But you hold you responsible, Gary, okay?
Well, I hold me responsible.
Oh, don't. It doesn't help anybody, and it doesn't help Sid.
Sid hugs Gary. I'm surprised I said Sid. I'm just trying to see if there's another scene that I want to play. I think I'm good. Oh wait, no, I do want to play this last scene here. Let me see. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube service policy. So the doctor is telling Sharon about Sid. Go ahead and turn this down just a little bit. Karen's walking. Oops. Hold on. Karen tells everyone. They all start to break down. Okay. That's not the scene I wanted. Hold on, let me. Alright, and again, this is in accordance with YouTube service policy. So throughout this whole sequence, it's all quiet. So throughout this whole here, I said talking in a minute, this whole scene is quiet, and I think that they did this really well. I kind of equate it to when they did the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode, where we lost Buffy's mom, and throughout the whole episode, they didn't have any music. It was just like all death and just kind of like just solemn. So I think that here they kind of did the same thing, only they did include the music, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. So right now they're all in the hospital, and again, this is in accordance with YouTube service policy. They're all in the elevator. And it's Anna, Eric, Karen, Michael, Val, and Abby. I wonder what happened to Gary. He's not there. I think maybe he left. I don't know.
Karen. Hi, Karen. Seeing you here with the kids brought back so many wonderful. There were so many things I wanted to say to you. I just wanted to hold you. I could see how scared you were, and I wanted to comfort you with my body. That's why I hate this damned accident so much. It's taken away my body's greatest pleasure. Holding it. Touching it. Feeling your body next to mine. That's why I gotta take this chance to get all that back. You know, it's funny. When I think Operation being a success, you know, I think about all the wonderful things that I could do with a healthy body, like travel around the world, build that race car, all those crazy kind of superficial things. But then I realized that none of that matters. All I really want is what I already have. Waking up with you every morning, sleeping next to you at night, just living with you and the kids, be together. There's no words to tell you how much that meant to me. If the chance didn't work, and you're listening to this now, I don't have any regrets. I love you, Karen. And whatever happens to me, I'll never die.
And that's the end of that episode. I just want that this part of the ride with that scene. I think that is very telling. I think that if many spouses could that, I think that they would. And then the parents are told that passing away or know that whatever they're doing could be a risk, that they would take that chance. So that kind of made me cry, but it's kind of like, you know, kind of rounded out. We're going to go on to episode 3, which kind of sort of ties all of this together, and you'll see right here in a moment. So episode 3 is called Aftermath, and we open at funeral, and then Karen. Okay. So we're at this funeral, everyone is there. The priest and the minister is talking about whatever talking about. So there's really not a lot to say about that scene. It's just that we're there, and it's the next morning. Michael, Karen, and Diana are at the kitchen table, and Michael is obsessed now with the obituaries. I guess every morning he's reading the obituaries about people who have gone on. And then you see that Eric is in the car that his dad was working on, and then he breaks down. So basically, it's trying to show that the family, that the third gave problems and that they're not communicating, that they're just kind of going through the motions. And it's also kind of showing a passage of time where we'll learn that in a moment. Um, and then we see that Karen is going back and forth between not finding motors. Then Diana comes downstairs, tries to talk to Karen. However, she says never mind. And Karen tells her, oh, and then we're at the Not Motors, and Karen tells her workers that it's been, I think, 5 weeks since they lost it. However, she's not going to sell the business, and that we're going to continue on with the business as usual. And then Abby walks in, he goes to talk to Karen, however, and tries to tell Karen about the book. However, Karen will be there for obvious reasons. And Karen, because Karen doesn't want Abby's help, and Karen doesn't trust her. However, Karen did tell, even though I'm at the business, you are more than welcome to come to my house and spend time with us as a family, to, just be there for you, to help us be there for you. However, that's not what really Abby wants. Abby wants someone, she wants to be able to do something. And right now, she doesn't have a kid, she doesn't have Sid, and now she doesn't have a job, so she just doesn't know what she's going to do. Next, we see that Ginger is out walking as Val pulls up, and they talk about her due date, and then she tries to help Val. Val gives her a right low. Penny comes home, sees Ginger, and Ginger gives her the bag back, and then walks over. And then we start to see them walking back to the house, and Ginger may have gotten a contraction. Next, we see that Richard shows up at the dealership looking for Karen and wants to buy her dinner. However, Karen declines. Michael calls the dealership and asks when Karen's going to be home. She's a little bit more concerned, like really becoming obsessive about, what's going on. Um, Karen takes a rain check for Richard, and then she goes into Sid's office to get a ledger, and she sees his work clothes and kind of has a little mini breakdown. And then we see that Richard comes home, Jason is playing an instrument, Laura is home, and they talk about Karen and how she's doing, and the fact that she just kind of has a wall up, which, hello, that's understandable. And then Michael is so concerned about Karen. Next, we see that Ginger is having more contractions, and that they're 3 minutes apart, and Kenny wants to go to the um, hospital. Eric is sitting at the table dinner. Diana's cooking, and then Karen asks Eric to carve the chicken, and then Eric and Diana fight. Eric leaves the table and goes upstairs. Next, we see that Kenny is in the hospital. We're back at the staircase. Karen goes into her room, and Michael comes in. Karen tells him to go back to bed. And then Michael doesn't want to leave, and then Karen yells at him, and then she goes in and talks to Michael, and Michael says that what if something happens to Karen, and then next we see that Ginger's at the hospital, and now that Kenny. Next, Karen wants a car, and she does, and Eric is upset about talking about Karen and work. Gary leaves the house, and he blames himself about his passing. Val tells him to stop it, and that no one does blame for what happened. And then they're trying to talk to Karen how they are acting in the family and about how they're not talking. Then they get into a fight, and Diana goes upstairs. Next, we see that Ginger is still in labor. Um, oh, and then we're back at the dealership. A customer wants to talk to Sid. The Karen tells her about what happened with Sid, and then this person can help her with whatever issue she had with her car. And then she goes into Sid's office and sees Gary there and kind of just wails on Gary. And then Gary leaves. Um, Diana is Diana and asks her to help. Diana wants to help. And Derek thinks that everything is so fake around the house, which it is. Eric that he is doing the same thing. Next we see that Gary returns home after what happened that he rented out, fighting him. And about Gary goes back to work because he said she hit me but she didn't fire me. And then we see that still on labor and it's still a baby. It's a girl and Penny gives the baby a bath. Karen goes to Val to apologize and not to mad at her. Then they go inside. Val and Karen is okay. Karen says in a couple of years now and tells Val that she is about exploding and then trying to go up the wall. Next, Karen comes and Ginger and Ginger tells Karen that she's the godmother and Karen breaks down as she is holding and Molly. And I guess no one, I didn't know the thing. But this show was in 1981. The new and Aaron Molly would do the same news, so that's kind of interesting to think. Well, I know from news I was in the NICU for so long, but I didn't know like if you had a delivery hospital had a restriction on who could not hold the baby. However, Ginger told Kent there's really not a lot to this episode just because it's an aftermath and there was a lot going on. It was kind of like a time lapse that happened. So therefore, there's not a lot there. Trying to talk to Gary about what's going on at dealership and trying to tell him, hey, don't blame yourself. And I think that we, the ones that are left behind for whatever happened, like I said earlier, for the longest time, and I still hold a little bit of guilt from my mom. So I can kind of see that and Gary as well, so I do feel bad for Gary. He is still blaming himself for what happened. And we'll kind of see that play out in season 4, but I don't know. I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it when we get there. So there's that, because I think that Karen does forgive Gary and realizes that, hey, it's really what happened and the fact that Sid did what he did for the greater good and then it ended up not working out for him. But then again, like I said, Don Murray wanted to leave the episode, and I think if I'm not mistaken, they did have this storyline, however it happened. So they had to rework the whole story in order to let the actor her out of his cot. I think that's what I heard. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. So there's that part of it. And then we didn't really see a lot of Richard and Laura, I don't think, in this episode again. And then we did see Ginger giving birth, which kind of paid off at the end. So I can why we jumped from Karen and her household and the dealership and getting back to Kenny and Ginger because it did pay off in the last scene. So I think that was really sweet, and that Karen finally let it out. Kind of soon it continued Karen's progression throughout the next couple of episodes. So we're almost there, y'all. Alright, so co-host in the background, am I right, or am I wrong? I am going to go ahead and play some clips from the third episode. I'm probably not going to play this much, but we'll see how it goes. This was Abby and Kieran. And again, this is in the quantity to series policy.
Hi. Karen down there was just terrific. It means a lot to them. They loved Sid.
Yeah, I know.
And they're behind you 1,000%. Listen, use this book, all right?
Thanks.
You need to go to section 4 in pink pages.
Mary Ewing, showroom.
But the discounts here are on there. Okay. What you said down there about needing everyone's help, everyone's but mine, right?
I'm sorry.
You know, you're going to spend hours on that stack of purchase orders, and I can do it in just a couple minutes.
I'll learn.
You don't have to learn. You have more important things to do. I can do it. Let me help.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't.
Why? Because I doctored the books. Everybody doctors books. It's what keepers do.
Not in Sid's business.
And you must be just as angry at him as you are at me.
I am not angry with anybody, Abby.
Why are you shutting me out? Sid was my brother. I want to mourn for him.
I'm not stopped.
So again, this is whether I think now that Sid is gone, Karen can kind of let out her true feelings a little bit with Abby. So here we see that come out, but there again we do see that Karen does feel for her because Abby's kids are her niece and nephew. So I think that Karen is torn because she does love her niece and nephew. However, she does have bad history with Abby. So we'll see. And again, this is what the YouTube series policy.
You? Yes, you are. Karen, I can't go through this alone. I lost Sid too, and I don't know where my children are, and now I don't even have a job to go to. I don't have anything or anybody. I'm alone. And I don't know what I'm going to do if I have to mourn alone too.
You're right. You shouldn't be alone right now. The children and I will help you through this. You should spend more time.
But you don't want me here.
No. I don't trust you, Abby. I know that you love Sid, and I know that right now you want to help. But I don't trust you. I don't think I ever will.
Boom. Relationship established. That's going to be the culmination of their relationship moving forward. Interesting. Play that soon. I'm not gonna play that soon. Nope, 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 nope. Oh, here we go. I do want to play this soon. And again, this is according to YouTube series policy. So Karen goes to her room. It's dark. She lays on the bed how I think she has been laying on the bed the last couple of nights. Kind of like diagonal.
Oh, Michael. You scared the living out of me. I heard you come upstairs. Is anything wrong? No. Well, you go back to bed, okay? It's late. Michael, I'm not sleepy. Well, lay in bed and rest. Well, couldn't I just stay here for a little while? No, you cannot. I'm not told you to go to bed.
Other than when she yelled at Abby with JR, this is the first time I really heard her yell at one of her kids. This kind of reminds me of when no one would listen and big dreams and broken hearts. So again, I think this is Michelle coming out a little bit as opposed to Karen, but that's just me. And again, this is in accordance to YouTube series policy.
I'm sorry. I guess I have a lot on my mind. I guess we all do. I'm ready to listen now if you talk. Oh, Michael. I know it hurts. But it will be honest. I promise.
What happens if something? Suppose you.
What? What if what? Go ahead and tell me. It's okay.
What happens if you die?
Oh, baby, honey. I'm not gonna die. Not for a long, long time.
This didn't break my heart because I thought many times after we lost my dad. I was like, well, what happens? What would happen? And then I learned that later that my grandparents actually had, my mom's parents would actually take us into custody if we did lose my mom. So, alright, so this is the scene that I was talking about when Karen loses it. So, and again, this is in accordance to YouTube series policy. Karen goes into the office, into Sid's office. I'm going to turn the sound just a little bit.
Karen.
So Karen lost it on Gary, and Gary left. Alright, this is the next one. This kind of carries over to what happened just now. And again, this is in accordance with nutrient service policy.
Gary? 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 What's wrong? Are you sick?
No.
Well, something must be wrong. What are you doing here?
You leave me alone.
Why are you so angry?
I'm not angry. Karen. She finally let it out.
Well, what do you mean? What'd she say?
Nothing. She hit me.
She what?
She had a gun. She'd have used it. I almost wish she had.
I don't believe it.
It's the most honest thing she's done since Sid died.
Oh, come on, Gary. Don't say that. It's crazy.
Val, grow up. Stop acting like everything's fine if we all applaud love. Sid's gonna come back. Karen's gonna have a husband. The kids are gonna have a father, and we're all gonna live happily ever after.
Why are you?
Because I am sick of being forgiven by you, and I am sick of the way you accept everything.
Well, I don't know what went on down at the office, but I know what's going on here. You are trying to provoke me. You are trying to be as ornery and as hateful as you can so that maybe I'll hit you too. Well, you're going to have to work it out some other way, Gary Ewing, because if you want to go on, you're going to have to do it to yourself. Where are you?
Back to work. She hit me. She didn't fire me.
Val smiles at that. Alright, and again, this is in accordance with this policy.
With endurance,
hold
you'll
on.
never pay off.
Sorry, commercials, 2 commercials. So, again, I think that what Val did was knock some sense into gear, and she went back to the dealership, which I think is good. However, we'll see the next scene. Quite hilarious. And again, this is in accordance with nutrient service policy.
Excuse me, sir. Any way I can borrow $5 won't get you far. There is an app called
Sorry,
Finance.
commercial.
Get you up to $100. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much, man. $100?
That was afternoon, the dollars.
Oh, hi, Val. Is Gary here? I'd like to talk to him.
No, he's not.
He's not here.
No. He went back to work. He said, fire him.
He told you. He came to apologize.
Okay? I'll tell him.
Val. Be mad at me. God, this is embarrassing. I just saw him sitting there in Sid's chair in the office. I don't know. I went crazy.
You okay?
No, I'm not okay. Ask me in a couple of years and then I'll tell you.
That's about right.
I know.
I'm so scared. I'm really terrified. I have so many emotions churning around I know. I'll explain.
But don't you see that's what you did just now with Gary?
I just try not to think about him. I miss him. I really miss him. And when I think about him, I just want him to hold me and love me and tell me it's all a nightmare. It isn't. So I just have to keep myself together. Just keep myself together.
I know you do. And I know that you have to deal with this in your own way. But the way you're doing it right now, you're hurting the very people who love you the most.
So there's a little bit of backstory in this, and we'll talk when we get to this soon. But yeah, again, the character or tell the actor because she's going through a lot during the storyline. So we'll talk a little bit more about it. Get there. And that's the scene where she finds out that Karen is the mother of Molly, just because that just kind of breaks my heart for her. And so, hold on. So we're just gonna go on to. Go on to the next episode, which is kind of episode. It's kind of a good one to kind of right in the the last 3 episodes. Jump right on. It's episode 4 called Moving In. So next we see that every phone's ring and it's Olivia. However, I think that she hangs up rather quickly, but I think that's Jeff that cut the line. Next we see Val running and Laura talks to her about what is going on tonight at the Ewing's house. Gary is looking for work. Gary is talking about the commercial that Karen had him do for the dealership. And dun dun dun, Lilliemae is back. And that's right, folks. Lilliemae is back. And already causing problems. She's trying to skip out on her hotel bill. So she takes her clothes and her auto harp, and it's called an auto harp. She takes that, puts it in a trash bag, and then puts it in the trash for the trash people to take it downstairs, check it out. And then next we see that she's carrying the suitcase out of the hotel, and then the guy, the manager, whoever stops her, however, and then she goes and gets her items that she kind of sort of put in the trash, but then puts it. Val goes to see and finds a shopping cart, and she puts her items in the shopping cart. Goes to see Abby and Abby wants her to stay by the fire. Val's supposed to go to school, but then she does talk Abby into staying at the house in case Olivia calls again. And then Abby is polishing the silver, which she hasn't done. And then next we see that Lilliemae tries to read a newspaper, but the person who owns the stand just kind of makes her leave. And then we see another homeless up and takes her purse he runs kind of like in a circle around while the cops is trying to stop him. And then Lilliemae takes her car and pushes it and knocks over the mugger. Everyone is, and the people around her clap. So at that, everyone is there. Ginger and Kenny go over with the baby. And then he shows up, and then Gary's commercial comes up, and they watch it, and he was great. However, he doesn't think so. And then that's when Val learns that Lilliemae is still in town, and she never went to Nashville. He was upset, and next we see that Lilliemae ends up at their house. Val is trying to learn about what happened. Lilliemae gets a phone call for like a meeting at a record studio. Then next we see that cleaning out the garage, and she's having a hard time with it, getting rid of some of the things. Abby comes over to ask if Diana can watch the phone while Abby goes and does something. And then they just kind of have a conversation, and Karen asks if Abby needs something else says, and she says sure, but she'll come back later and text something out. Next we see that Val wants to take her mother to the meeting, however Lilliemae refuses. Lilliemae is kind of giving Val a hard time about her going to school, which Val feels uncomfortable. Uh, and then Lilliemae gets off the bus, and she sees a shirt that she likes. She goes into the store thinking that she's going to look at it. However, she comes out with it under her coat. Abby goes to see just more about her kids and said that she will drag her into court with a subpoena and have her talk about what's going on. Lilliemae gets to pursue and Abby are talking about her kids. Laura is working late. Val tells Richard that her mother was arrested and wants to have him help her. However, Val is very hurt. Abby's friend comes over to take her out to dinner, and she tells him try no, but they can order in. Val and Gary are at the moon. She won't plead guilty, and then next we see that Abby is not herself. Abby sends Brad home. Val wants her mother to listen to reason. Abby's phone rings, but she misses it because talking to Brad, Lilliemae does plead that she lives with, well, she's her daughter and son-in-law. However, she's not sure how long that's going to be. And volunteered to the bench and tell them until her probation, her children need to take care of her instead of having her out like that. And it was almost like first Lilliemae. Val, Gary, and Lilliemae return home and to eat. Val was hurt. She goes upstairs to talk to her mother. However, Lilliemae walks out and has a heart-to-heart. And Val tells Lilliemae that she was hurt, that she didn't know Lilliemae was still in town. And they go. And the next morning, Lilliemae makes breakfast, and Val is unsure, so she's on the stairs. There's not a lot to. It was a way for them to have and to kind of bring her more into the storyline. Because we'll see how Lilliemae kind of ties everyone together on knotslanding. So that was just a sweet episode. Gary and Lilliemae have been this really with let's talk about Ginger and Kenny at Val's house with the baby. Karen really nothing other than the fact that she's cleaning out says I don't think that's the only time we saw Karen other than at Val's house. And then Abby comes over and talks to her about the kids and about Diana watching the phone and then picking out something of Sid's. And then we see a lot, Gary's trying to support Al. However, I think Gary enjoys having Lilliemae in the house. I think that Gary thinks that she's pretty funny, but I mean, hey, who wouldn't? Lilliemae is fun. Um, so Val and Lilliemae need to start building their relationship because even Lilliemae's sister doesn't want her to return Val. So I think that's kind of telling that she's pretty much worn out her welcome where she goes. However, given the fact that she is Val will help her. And even if they brought Lilliemae back, I'm thinking that that's what they did. That they needed another person on the show, so that Julie Harris back as Lilliemae. So we're gonna bypass the commercial of Gary, and we're gonna go into the scene. So basically, this was a mother-daughter episode, and how they're gonna start the friends as opposed to mother and daughter. And basically that even though I didn't have a normal childhood, I still love you because I am a part of you, and you are a part of me. So I think that's pretty sweet. So again, this is according to YouTube fair use policy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chip. Well, just how weak is... I'm here with Mrs. Lilliemae Clemens, songwriter, performer, grandmother, and as of today, crime fighter. Can you tell us what happened here this afternoon?
Well, once much to it, a man was making off with that poor woman's purse, so I stopped him.
Well, now, I understand you were evicted from your hotel this morning.
Oh, no, you got that wrong, young man.
You didn't give me an address. Now, does that mean you're living here in the park?
Oh, well, that's how it is in show business, up one day and down the next.
Hey, Val.
I toured at one time with Maybelle Carter back in Tennessee.
Well, the question here is a lady who cared enough to get involved going to have a roof over her head tonight? Steve Salt from Memorial Park reporting. Back to you now, Marcia.
I wonder if Lilliemae did that on purpose. That's just my opinion. I'm just thinking that I wonder if she did that on purpose again. So yeah. So that was pretty sweet. So that was when Val realized that, and that she's still in California, and Val was kind of upset about it. So I have a commercial of them just kind of talking. Hold on 1 second. I might have some breaking news. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I thought I saw something. This is a good time to let loose and catch up if it's kind of slow. Or add, and then we'll see what's in the ad. Does anybody like scary movies? I don't.
embarrassed and asked for loss. I didn't steal.
Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna play this scene right here. So, so again, this is according to teaching fair use policy. Karen's in the garage.
Goodwill.
She's going to fence items.
Maybe Eric. Oh, damn it.
Hi, Karen. Oh, cyclone. Oh, it's Sid's things.
Yeah. Finally got up enough courage to go through these things.
Sure a lot.
I never like to throw anything away.
I know.
Can I help you with something?
Well, I tried to call you, but your line was busy.
Off the hook.
I won't disturb you then. I just wondered if Diana could watch my phone for a few hours after school while I go to see Jeff's mother.
I'm sure she could, but I thought you already talked to his mother.
Oh, yeah, I talked to her. She told me she didn't know where Jeff was, which of course is a lie.
Well, what can you do about it?
Threaten subpoena, drag her into court where she'd be forced to testify under oath. I left Ginger and the baby. See you later.
Okay. Abby.
Yeah?
Would you like something of Sid's? Sort of a keepsake?
Yeah, I would. Could I come back later when I have more time?
Sure.
Thanks, Karen.
So that was really sweet. I just kind of wanted to share that with y'all. And then we will jump into I'm not going to do the full court scene. I'm going to I'm going to start here. And again, this is according to teaching fair use policy.
I'm reducing your sentence to life. You are charged with a violation of Section 490-5 of the book code. Well,
Guilty, I guess.
My client pleads guilty, Your Honor, but I'd like court to acknowledge that this is her first offense. Mrs. Clemens has never been in trouble with the law before. I respectfully request that under the circuit court suspense sentence.
is this your permanent address at Seaview Circle, Mrs. Clemens?
No, Your Honor, it's temporary for the time being.
How long have you been there?
I just moved there. I just arrived just yesterday.
Is it a private residence?
I may, Your Honor.
Counselor, that's your client. Answer.
It's my daughter's home. My daughter Valeen's, and her husband's Gary Ewan. I'm just visiting.
What is your permanent address?
Oh, well, I'm hoping to find a place of my own just as soon as I can.
Are you employed?
I'm self-employed.
At what?
I'm an artiste.
A painter?
A performer, Your Honor. Folk and country music.
When was the last time that gainfully employed?
Oh, well, let me see.
I assure you, Your Honor, that my client is her and her son-in-law, Mr. and Ms. Ewing, are here with her, and they have stipulated that they will assume financial responsibility.
No, I don't want that. I can take.
I'll conduct this hearing if you don't mind. Mrs. Ewing, will you and your husband approach the bench?
Again, this is Jared and Val were sentenced as opposed to Lilliemae.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, is your attorney correct? Are you willing to assume financial responsibility?
Yes, Your Honor.
Be about it.
She isn't.
But she'll do it.
Mrs. Ewing, the offense that your mother pleaded guilty to is petty theft. But I must tell you, shoplifting is a cry for help. It's a desperate cry for help. This woman needs care and attention in her sunset years, which this court should not have to remind her children to provide. Too many of our senior citizens are thrust aside, ignored, forced into sleazy hotel rooms, and worse, by the very children they nurtured and sacrificed for. Well, perhaps in this case that will happen. Mrs. Clemens, there is a mandatory $50 fine for shoplifting, plus a possible jail sentence. However, I am going to suspend sentence and place you on probation for 6 months, with the hope that your daughter and your son-in-law will realize their responsibilities and take you into their home and take you into their hearts. Next case.
Yeah, that was a sentence for Val and Jared, not necessarily Lilliemae. Alright. And again, this is in accordance with the security policy. Dang it. I'm a commercial. That never. Yeah, and the next episode, I'm not going to play a lot of scenes from that episode just because, again, it's kind of. I do a lot, but it's kind of from some point I didn't take a lot of notes on it, so we'll go for now. I got about 10 seconds left. Sorry about the commercial break, y'all. Alright, here we go.
What is it? What's wrong?
Okay, again, this is in accordance with the security policy.
Gary? Gary?
What is it? What's wrong?
She's gone. She's taking her clothes and everything.
Well, she can't be far. I'll go get her.
No, wait. I'll do it. Mama? Mama? Just where in the world do you think you're going? There's a bus stop on the corner. Well, I want to talk to you. I'm not coming back, Val, so you can just go on home. Now, wait a minute. Mama? There's no use you saying anything, Val. I'm leaving. Not before I have my say. No. Now, Val, I can't accept your hospitality. Not after what's happened. That's not what I was going to say. I couldn't help being on the television. But I know it embarrassed you. No, Mama, it didn't embarrass me. As for that blouse, I didn't steal it. I was only trying to see it in the light. Now, I know you don't believe me. And I know you're upset about what that judge said. But I didn't want to plead guilty in the first place. It's not what the judge said. I know. You're troubled by the publicity and all. Well, nobody remembers these things. I mean, folks see a story about a silly old woman one day and then she's gone. Like gossamer on a windy day, and it's like she never was. Will you let me talk? Just forward my check from the Social Security when it comes. It's a widow's mite, not enough to live on. But it'll help out at Aunt June's. Oh, you there? Well, how can you say such a thing? Because only you don't pay any attention to the truth, Mama. You never have. Well, you don't have to deal with me anymore, Valley. You can forget about me. I can't, and you know I can't. Don't you understand? It hurt me that you didn't let us know that you were here all this time. We've got so much time to make up for. All those years that we were apart. Not into you. A burden? But you're my mother. We're part of each other. Maybe you weren't the best mother in the world, but I love you because you're my mama. You were cheated, Val. Will you just stop that? Come on home. You sure this is what you want? Come on, give me this. Come on. Come on. Well, I'll tell you what, Sugar. We'll give it a try.
So that's it for the episode. Oh wait, no, hold on. Again, this is in Constitution 30,000. Lilliemae drinking breakfast.
What have we got here?
I don't want you to say a thing. I want you to just sit down and feast yourselves on a real country breakfast. Blueberry muffins, just a mix, but next time they'll be real. Ham and eggs, and homemade waffles, dripping in maple syrup. No, why didn't you ask before you went to all this trouble? Oh, I want to surprise you, sweet thing. Yeah, but you see, I'm going running, and Gary... Come on, Gary, it's not funny.
Lilliemae, if I eat all this, I'm going to use up my caloric intake for the week.
Oh, Gary, you win. You're skinny as an alley cat. You should be on a diet. Now that I'm standing, I'm going to fatten you up. Come on, Val, sit down. It's going to take a week to clean this mess up.
This looks really good.
Well, sure it's good. Now, you make a victory plate nice and clean. Know what they used to say during the war?
Oh, but I got a feeling you're going to know.
They had a slogan, eat a bigger breakfast, do a better job.
Seems to work that slogan. They won the war.
So that's what I say. I think that Gary enjoys Lilliemae. Kind of comical with that. So where Val was like, okay, I don't know if this is going to work out. But then here's Gary enjoying having Lilliemae do that for him. So that's always true. Alright, so you don't know what they're going to expect with Lilliemae. And there's a lot of talk that I think that Val and Lilliemae also added some of their lines and changed up some scenes, like Karen and actor, because I think that the actors Julie Harris and Miss Van Ark both had like a mutual respect for one another, because I think I talked about it when Lilliemae was first on the show, and Joan met Julie Harris whenever she was young, and she actually did an interview for her when she was in school for her high school newspaper, which I think is really sweet. And she kind of followed in Julie's footsteps on going to drama school and the school that Julie went to, and I think that she even wrote a letter to for Joan to attend the exact same school. Val didn't know that Lilliemae, or that Doing next characters. Joan didn't know that Julie was going to do her mother on the show, so it kind of worked out, and it was a sweet reunion, and their friendship was lasted up until Miss Harris passed away. I want to say in 2013 or 2015. I could be wrong. So this next episode is episode 5, and it is a surprise. So this is kind of an interesting episode. I didn't take a lot of notes because there wasn't a lot to really talk about, because it kind of focused on Abby and her kids. However, there's a little bit of Karen in it. So we'll go ahead and just get started. We open up at Val's house, gets the mail, and she gets something from Olivia, and she runs over to Abby. And then Abby, next we see that Abby is at Richard's office, and Richard tells Abby um, about the fact that we're judging to honor the divorce decree, and then I think that, or the custody decree, so she encourages Abby to talk to Jeff when she finds him, so Abby's detective is already out of town to see where the kids are, and so Richard tells Abby to just talk to Jeff. Karen wants to learn how to sell the cars, and so she tells Gary this. Oh, I forgot to tell includes a little bit of Richard too. Richard's boss asked him for a favor by taking over an account. The secretary tells Richard what his boss means, and then we see that Richard and Nora is playing poker with Ginger and Kenny. Richard goes to talk to Kenny about the entertainment, and it's like the oldest profession that his boss is interested in getting for a client. And then we Val and Lilliemae pull up, and they rush over because they see that Abby is leaving, so she's going out of town, and she located the kids. However, Jeff doesn't know that Abby found them. And then next we see that Jeff returns home. However, the sitter or the person that normally brings home Olivia and Brian is not there. So Olivia tells him that someone drove him home, and they thought that it was one of their teachers. However, it does not. It wasn't that. And next we see that Abby shows up and knocks at the door, and she hugs her kids. Jeff is not happy about it. Olivia and Brian want to talk to Abby. However, Abby told Jeff that her detective drove the kids home, and Jeff agrees that Abby can stay for dinner. Olivia tells Abby about her life and how she is not happy, and she wants to go home with Abby. Abby tells Jeff that she's going hiking with them in the morning. Next we see that Lilliemae is cooking and Gary is working, and they are talking about Karen selling cars. Abby, Jeff, and the kids are hiking. Jeff is not happy. Abby is trying to make up with Jeff. However, he is fighting it. Next we see that Karen is trying to sell cars and it's not going well. And next we see that Jeff, Abby, and the kids are having a picnic, and Abby tells Jeff that her life is where her kids are. So basically, if she has to move where Jeff is, she's going to do so that she can keep in contact with her kids, which I think that is right. Abby plays creep away with Jeff's shoe, and Abby falls in the water, and then Jeff goes after his shoe, and the kids push Jeff in the water, and they almost kiss. However, Jeff gets out before anything happens. Liz is waiting for his client with two women and introduces one of them to his client. Evan and Jeff begin to talk, and then Jeff moves in closer. Evan and Jeff kiss. Next, we see that Karen still hasn't sold the car, and then we see that Richard's boss is happy with how Richard handled the account, and then Karen is not happy with Jeff. Evan encourages Jeff, and she sends Jeff packing. So basically, they sleep together, and Evan tells Jeff that, he can't stay the night because of the fact of the kids. However, they talk about getting back together, and Jeff does ask Evan to marry him. Evan and Richard are talking, and then Laura goes to Val to give her a book. Lilliemae is becoming the gossip of the cul-de-sac, so that's what I mean and how Lilliemae is going to kind of interwoven all the characters together, I think. And then Jeff wants to talk to Karen about Henry marrying Abby. Jeff tells Karen that her friendship means so much to him, and that Abby is a different person. And then a customer returns for a sale about 4 cars for $5,200, and Karen tells Val and Lilliemae about the wedding, and they can't go, however they show up. Jeff and his mother are waiting on Abby, and Abby never shows up. Jeff has been served with an RO for him not to go anywhere near Abby or the kids. And then Karen goes to see Abby about what happened, and basically tells her that Jeff with the whole enchilada, which I think is a pretty funny reference, given the whole Lloyd J. Bell overall. Yes, I will bring them up, but I'm not going to talk about true crime. I just kind of find it ironic that is part of knotslanding, and chili chicken enchiladas has entered the chat again. Okay, so just bear with me. I'm trying to get a little bit comfortable. So basically, that's the episode. This is when we see Abby scream. She screams to get her kids back from Jeff, and she has a pretty unique way of doing that. However, I kind of get it because she was in a state where they were going to honor her divorce decree. I highly anticipated them moving back to California where her custody decree is active at that point. So I do for her. And then also with Karen and Jeff kind of started making up. However, Karen doesn't really trust what Abby's going to do. And I love the fact that Karen is becoming more involved with the dealership and wants to learn more about it. So again, that's just kind of building her her independence and her becoming a little bit more independent in her life without Sid. So we kind of sort of see this shifting in this episode. And then I also like even though we didn't really see a lot of it, but how Lilliemae is starting to interweave all the characters and how she the cul-de-sac. So I think it's quite hilarious. So that's episode 5. There's really not a lot there. I'm just so happy that Abby got. Well, I agree with how she did it, but that's just my opinion. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, whether or not it be correct or legal. Or no, it's not even the fact that it's legal. So it's again, like I said with Mac, it's a legality versus morality. And I get that from Emily D. Baker's channel. She talks about that a lot, like what's morally correct and then what's legal. about the situation. Abby saw what was legal where Jeff was, but however she brought him back on her own turf and was able to do it legally. Whether or not it was moral, that's a different story. So I get it, but I can see both sides of the coin. And again, that's where I'm at. Um, I don't I don't think that she necessarily had a choice, um, given the situation. But so we'll see. And I never realized how big knotslanding Motors was. Looking at this picture. Okay. And so here are some clips from episode 5. Co-host in the background. If you have anything to add, please do so. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube's fair use policy. So Gary's walking up to Karen and starts to talk to her.
No sale, huh?
Sell some, you blow some.
Why? What went wrong?
I don't know. Maybe you didn't like my face.
I'm not being critical. I really would like to know.
Okay. He was interested in a cheaper model. Tried to move him up. I guess I tried to take too big a bite.
You always try to move them up?
Why are you so interested in selling all of a sudden?
That's what this business is all about, isn't it? Selling cars? I ought to understand the basic rules at least, if you don't mind teaching them to me.
Well, there are no every car, every customer is a different ballgame. It's no way to teach selling.
How did you learn?
By selling?
So I think that was a really sweet scene how Karen wants to learn more about the business and to keep the business open for her family. So I'm going to play this scene because I think it's really sweet. Again, there's a lot of sweet scenes in this episode. So again, I kind of want to end it on a positive note, and because of the first 3 episodes we had here. So, and again, this is in accordance with YouTube service policy.
To get my. Where are you off to? To get my kids. You mean you found them? Oh, Abby, that's funny. I can't believe. Detective called just a half an hour ago, and he said he located Jeff moving into an apartment with them. Oh, will you give him my love and hugs and good luck and everything? I will.
You mean that Paul's going to give them back without a fuss?
He doesn't even know I found them yet.
Abby,
You be careful. Don't worry about me. Worry about him.
That was sweet. That's like Lilliemae just kind of sneaking in there. And then I love the fact that Val was still supporting Abby. But I think that, she doesn't know. Well, we don't know what's going to be going on in a minute, in a little bit either. I'm going to kind of skip over the Abby and Jeff scenes because those are a little bit difficult with the whole cussing. I don't want to get hit with YouTube. So we'll just go from here. Again, this is in accordance with YouTube service policy.
what that is.
Lilliemae is cooking. Gary's at the table working. Cooking and working and cooking.
Shh, honey. I got spoon bread. How temperamental that is.
It's awfully late in cooking, isn't it? Besides, keeping Gary from his work.
Sure.
So, how's it going?
Okay.
Want some juice?
No. This idea of Karen's.
More commercials?
No, she, well, I was talking to her the other day about selling cars, and the only way to learn it was to do it. So now that's what she wants to do.
I declare, a woman selling cars?
What's wrong with that?
Everything. She's not the type. She'll make a lot of wrong moves, lose good customers.
Gary's right. What's a woman know about machines?
Oh, Mama, things are different now. I mean, women are into all kinds of different occupations nowadays.
More's the pity.
Well, I'll bet that Karen turns out to be real good at selling.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How much?
I'll go the whole hog and I'll die.
You got some bet.
All right.
But I'm afraid you're going to lose, sugar.
Oh.
Oh,
We shall see. To the next room. Alright. And again, so I'm just going to kind of play this storyline out. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube series policy.
Wow, Joe.
Oh, dang it. Commercial again. Ironic, it's for a car dealer. Darn commercials. Ow. Okay, got about 5 seconds left.
Wow, Joe. Here's a good buy. This one has stick shift, 4-speed,
Karen is
radios
showing
all around, one-owner car, clean
cars.
as a whistle.
We think not. Thank you.
Oh, well, thank you. Come back soon.
John, pick up on line 3. Joe, line 4, please.
Hiya, Gary.
Hiya.
He wants a sedan with automatic and air. She wants a sports car with a stick shift, stereo, sheepskin seats.
Well, nobody said it was easy.
Don't count me out yet.
That was really sweet. Karen's getting confidence about it. Okay. Again, this is according to YouTube series policy.
Showroom, line 2.
Mr. Duro.
Thank you very much for your help.
Well, thank you. You decided which one you wanted.
Well, I'd like to think it over.
Oh.
Okay?
Sure.
But I'll be back.
Oh, good. Whatever you say.
No one.
That's his car. He's keying it over.
Right.
Oh, he said so.
And you believed it.
Well, he wouldn't have taken so much of my time if he wasn't going to buy something, right?
You're the boss.
Karen's just trying so hard. I'm going to show this for this thing because this is really sweet. And again, this is according to YouTube series policy.
We made it! Oh, 3 days! 3 hours!
Come here, kids! Oh, it's so good to see you.
Good to see you.
Oh, you got the
Hi, Karen.
What are you doing here? I persuaded Jeff to come back with us. We're trying to work things out.
Work things out.
Kids, take that stuff inside now, okay?
Okay.
Thanks.
See you later, Aunt Karen.
Bye, honey.
Bye, Mom. Bye, Aunt Karen.
Bye.
I haven't had a chance to tell you how sorry I was about Sid.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I seem so confused, but I don't understand. How come out with a man who ran off with your kids? That's not as simple as that, Karen. He wasn't the only one that was at fault. I see.
So Karen's not happy, she moves. Oh, this is the... And again, this is according to teacher series policy.
Hi, Laura. Morning, Val. Here's that book. You are going to love it. Oh, thank you. Morning, Lilliemae. How are you this morning? Fat, sassy, and curious. What's Abby talking to your husband about? Legal matters, I hope.
Abby isn't going to file charges against Jeff now, is she?
How could she be? I saw them in loaded bags from the van yesterday. Looked like they'd been on the run. They all went out to dinner, and he stayed until 2:30 in the morning. Maybe he and Abby were playing cribbage, but I doubt it.
Mama.
Oh, what's the sense of living in a cul-de-sac, honey? We can't snooze.
Well, ladies, I've got to get to work. I'll see you both later.
Thanks, Laura.
Again, like I said, Lilliemae is becoming the one that knows what's going on in the cul-de-sac. So here's the next scene. And again, this is according to teacher series policy.
You're no customer.
Karen, I want to talk to you.
Talk?
Oh, come on, Karen. We used to be good friends.
Right, used to be. Now, what do you want?
I want to explain to you why I did what I did.
I heard the explanation you left on the tape recording. I didn't buy it then. I'm not buying it now. Abby's for you to run off with those children.
Look, I thought you
Hey,
of all people.
wait a minute. Why did you come here? Get my approval? You're never going to get it.
Gary Ewing, line 3.
I was wrong. Okay, I admit it. But everything turned out it was.
Everything best.
It did. It's just what Abby needed. It brought her to her senses.
Really?
Yes, and I don't want you to hold it against me now.
Again, that's where Michelle comes out and it's no longer Karen. It's Michelle, but that's my opinion, just by her voice tones. And again, this is according to teacher series policy.
Why now? Oh, come on, Jeff. I know you're dying to tell me something, and I don't have the time to pry it out of you.
We're thinking of remarrying.
You're thinking of it. What does Abby have to say?
She's thinking about it too.
I'll bet. Look, I gotta get back to work. Let me know when you set a date.
Friday at 1.
What?
Friday at 1, the courthouse. She'll kill me if she knows I told you. She wants to make it a surprise with kids. We need your friendship, Karen. It's important to us. I know it's hard to believe, but Abby's changed. Believe me, she's a totally different person.
Yeah?
I think this whole time, even though Jeff says that Abby would give him a hard time if he told Karen, I think that Abby counted on Karen, on Jeff telling Karen so that they show up. That's just my opinion. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube series policy.
You better check her fingerprints.
Alright. So we're jumping, hold on. So we're jumping into the next scene that just kind of runs together. And again, this is in accordance with YouTube series policy.
Thanks a lot, Gary. Mr. Dorado, how nice to see you.
Thank you. I've done my thinking. Here's my offer.
Showroom, line 2. Showroom, line 2.
Carol, won't you step this way? Mr. Dorado is offering us $600 for number 10, $1,200 for number 16A, $900 for number 27, and $2,000 for the 4-door with air.
You want to buy 4 cars?
$4,700 for the lot. Take it or leave it.
Service, line 1.
52, not a penny less.
Mrs. Fairgate, you got yourself a deal.
Mr. Dorado, thank you. This is Mr. Ewing. He's going to help us write out the order. Won't you, Mr. Ewing?
Yeah, be happy to.
Pardon me for asking, but why do you need 4 big cars?
I grow wheat
Oh,
south of the border.
uh-huh.
Dwarf wheat.
You're going to haul wheat in them.
Not haul, use. I take the wheat to make alcohol, combine it with gasoline.
And get gasohol.
Exactly.
Oh, I'm sorry. These cars aren't equipped to burn gasohol.
Well, they will when I get through it.
Oh, and then what?
Then I'll sell them. I'll sell gasohol. I'll fight the oil crisis and make a profit while I'm at it.
6, 7, 8, 9.
But Gary, we only bet $1. Why are you paying me so much?
You were so right. I was so wrong. Turns out Mr. Dorado had shopped all over town for gas guzzlers he could pick up cheap.
Karen gave him the best deal.
Well, no, not exactly. He said he could have saved a few dollars elsewhere, but...
I thought Karen was a very fine lady, and he wanted to do business with her. But, Mama, I thought you said that women shouldn't have anything to do with selling cars. Well, maybe I did. But there's one thing women have every right to do, and that's change their minds. Oh, sweet pea, supper's getting cold.
That was really cute. Hold on. Alright, we're on to the next one. And again, this is according to YouTube series policy.
I knew something was going on, but I told them that we're having I knew something was going on. I just can't believe this.
Well, he came into my office and accidentally on purpose let it slip.
Oh, I told you they weren't playing cribbage. Well, when's it supposed to take place?
Today, at 1. Oh, I'd give my eye teeth to be there. But we haven't been invited.
Let's just show up anyhow. I'd just love to throw rice at them.
I'd like to throw something at them, too. But we weren't invited, so can't go, right?
Right. Yes. Hey.
That's the next scene, and lo and behold, guess what? And again, it's YouTube series policy.
I thought you weren't coming.
Well, I just couldn't stay away.
Neither could I.
Okay, so now that Sid is gone, I think that Karen's voice is becoming more and more like Michelle's voice, which I think is interesting because I can kind of hear it here too. And you'll see when she meets Mac how her voice has changed also. But that's just my opinion. And again, this is in accordance to teaching serious policy.
And neither could you. Oh, well, in spite of everything, here I am. Are they here yet?
Yeah, Jeff and his mom are waiting inside.
Okay. And again, this is in accordance to teaching serious policy.
No, Abby. Late as usual.
Let's triple with this because again, this is in accordance to teaching serious policy.
Oh, hi, Jeff. Annette.
What are you doing here?
We came to congratulate you afterwards.
That's very thoughtful. Terrific. Where Abby?
We don't know.
Yes, Mr. Cunningham?
Yeah?
What's this order restraining you from visiting your children?
Hey, are you crazy? We're remarried.
You better read that. If you try to visit your children, your ex-wife is going to press charges against you for child stealing.
Jeff, what does it say?
What he says, it says.
You mean Abby's not coming?
Karen, she's having Olivia and Ryan.
So I see. Hi, kids.
We were at the courthouse today. Yes, Val, Lilliemae, and I.
Were you surprised?
It wasn't completely. You really hit him with the whole enchilada, didn't you? He made it hurt.
He hurt me? Nobody gets away with that.
And that's the end of that episode. So I think that was a good episode to end on. And I think that was very comical. It kind of levitated the last couple of episodes, and to bring it all together. And the fact that we ended with Abby getting her kids back, and then Karen making a huge sale. Well, what would be a huge sale for her dealership, and so on and so forth. So that's that. We're almost at the 3 hour mark. I can't believe it. So we're going to go ahead and end it here. Please do not forget to do the YouTube thing. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comment section down below. And don't forget, after I end this stream, I'm going to go in and I'm going to We're Not Done Yet podcast, the CV Circle channel, and No Escape from the Cul-de-sac podcast. So go and check those out. Anything else to add, co-host in the background? I think that was a good way to end tonight. It's good now. Yeah. So I think I'm good. I'm just waiting to hear back from co-host. Oh, thanks, co-host. So I'm gonna go ahead and end this here. It's almost 11:30 at night, so I'm gonna go ahead get Snowball out of his kennel and just kind of go night-night because I'm about to fall asleep. And again, don't forget to do the YouTube thing to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and then also don't forget to check out the We're Not Done Yet podcast, TV Circle, and the No Escape from the Cul-de-Sac. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great night. Bye!